Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is A Woman's Prerogative. Our topic is, I Told You So. Exploring this topic are two incredible women who are our full-time panelists. Our other panelists are on holiday today. Let's welcome Caroline. You are the Harley Street stress expert. Hello.
Woo! Hello.
Woo! Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thank you. And Dr. Madalene Chen. Woo, hello.
Hey, hello, ladies. Hi.
Good to see you both. Jenetta Barry in the Epiphany Process, as well as Mariska and her Royal Majesty, DESZIREE Richardson are on holiday today. So thank you for joining us. And I'm really excited about this topic because I have no idea where it's going to go, as probably we'll end up just laughing hysterically and and not even talking about the topic. But I was backstage for a little while, and I know you two were having a nice chat, some exciting things coming up. So Caroline, what would you like to share about what's going on with you?
Oh, Dr. Jacalyn. Well, this is very exciting. I'm just about to exchange. In the UK, in England, we have something called exchange, which means that we exchange contracts. And I'm selling my property and buying a property, and I'm moving out of London and going to Doncaster. And so there's 5 days in between. So I'm actually going to be completing and moving into my new home on Wednesday next week. So I have a lot to do, and I'm just so excited because I'm going to have a garden. I'm going to have almost double the size of the property, and more to the point, I'm actually going to find new beginnings, leaving my home behind that has been absolutely amazing for me for 15 years. I'm closing one door and opening another to new opportunities and new beginnings. I'm excited because the things that I shared with just now, just before we began, really have come in that this is the right place for me to go. And that's what's really making me feel very excited, because it's like I was destined to be going to this place.
Destiny.
Yay!
Yay!
Destiny calling you.
I love it. And we have a couple of comments from a Facebook user. I don't know who it is, but hey, Caroline, and I will miss you.
Oh,
that's so
I'm still going to be here.
Sweet. We don't know who it is, but we appreciate the comments. So, Dr. Chan, Miss Destiny herself, what do you have to say?
Things for today. Oh, you mean with regards to Caroline moving to Doncaster?
Well, whatever you want to comment on.
Okay, I just think I find it fabulous news. I feel, I've got my family, a lot of my family, my nieces and my sister there, and nephews, brother-in-laws, and that. It's such a great place. It's a very Yorkshire accent, but the people are lovely. Really, really warming people. So you're going to have a wonderful experience, and I'm sure you will be directed and magnetized. A lot of work coming through for you for chakra psychology. Yeah. So for me, well, what can I say? Oh yeah, I started a new job today. Yeah, I know. Do you know what's really weird? I've always had a fear of like waitressing because I got sacked when I was in Malta, and I vowed myself I'm never going back to that job. Then you know how sometimes our fears turn up to face them. So this job turned up at a food restaurant place, and it went. And where I had the fear in me going, oh, if I drop a plate, if I drop food on someone, or if I do this, or what if I do, I had all kinds of, I got myself worked up. And then I went, breathe, just breathe. And so, and they were so nice, and it went well. There was a lot to take in, but yeah, it's a good experience, and I'm happy to do waiting on tables, front of house staff, part-time work.
Well, very sociable.
Yeah, and works because it works with my other line of work as well, so it's good while it builds up for teaching, because having to move in a new place, you have to build up your clientele. Your students again, for example, for me. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
This is really interesting because we're in between eclipses. There was an eclipse on Thursday, and there's an eclipse on the 5th of May, and that letting go of old things and bringing in new things is actually where it's a letting go, like sort of a rebirth thing. And so we're both in alignment with the energies of what's happening now, planetary. It's very high manifesting energy right now in this eclipse time. And it's very powerful to be making these kinds of changes. That's amazing. Well done.
I know it's only little, but it meant a lot for me.
It's huge. You know, I mean, I haven't worked in a proper job. I haven't worked for someone for a long time. So no, that's huge. It's a big deal.
Thank you. And where's Dr. Jacalyn gone?
I think she's left us to
I think she's left us, hasn't she, to talk. So Caroline, with going to Doncaster, what is it that you're looking forward to from coming from a city of London to moving to Doncaster? What are you excited about?
The biggest thing is the garden. I know that sounds crazy.
No,
it's actually to be able to open the French doors.
Oh, you have French doors that open.
So whether I'm in the living room or the dining room, I will have French doors that open out onto the garden, and that's going to feel really heavenly to me, you know. And I'm already looking at what plants to put in the garden.
Oh, I love that, and it's so relaxing when you're gardening, and you just switch off from everything, and just it's great. And I get a feeling like with herbs.
Yeah,
herbs and plants and that.
It's already, lavender's definitely on the list to put outside.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't you just love? I love lavender. So and the flowers as well. And oh my gosh. And the great thing about it is it's great timing because the English summer's coming up, so it's going to be.
That was just my very thought.
Yeah,
I was thinking just in time for the lovely summer, and then it's very close to the seaside in Cleethorpes, so I can visit the seaside. It just feels like, you know, it's time, and it's just literally after my birthday. It's my birthday on Wednesday, and
is it really? Oh, we need to say happy birthday. In fact, when Dr. Jacalyn comes back in, we'll say a future happy birthday. We'll pretend it's your birthday today.
I'll be exchanging on my birthday and completing a week later. So it's like a perfect birthday present. Yes,
it is. They say everything comes in at the right timing, as you were mentioning before the show began. about divine timing and alignment and everything.
It was meant to be, and I was in a hurry to move. But, you know, that was the thing. It was about being patient. My whole thing is I'm impatient to do things.
No.
The patience. Oh, very. You know, I want it now. I wanted to move in 2020, but it was because I had to do what I needed to do here in London, establish myself here, and then I'll just be taking my name with me. I'm still Caroline HEWARD, the Harley Street stress expert, just without the price tag of coming to see me at Harley Street. You're going to get me a lot less online, and if people come to see me in Doncaster, so nobody has to come to see me in the plush offices of Harley Street, and they still get the expertise of me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not about the surroundings. It's about, isn't it, the fact that it's you. You are the one that carries you. You know, you can go out in the field and still perform in the highest way possible.
It's almost like I was meant to not complete on Friday this week so that I could have my birthday in London.
So what are you doing for your birthday?
I'm going to be doing an ecstatic dance with a lovely friend on Wednesday on the evening, and I'm doing a intimate gong bath with an incredible lady who's a shaman, and the intimacy is 5, so a maximum of 5 people. And I know there's me and my friend. I'm not quite sure who else is coming along. And that's for an hour and a half. And I'm just so looking forward to it. And it's like sort of a perfect, I know it might sound like it's a very odd way to celebrate your birthday, but for me, it's the ultimate.
Well, as long as, you know, if you love it, for your birthday, it's important to do what you love to do and have the people that you love around you to celebrate with you. But these are going back to these gong baths. I was looking on YouTube, and I was finding it quite difficult to sleep. And so last night I looked at the like the crystallized bowls, and there was playing this beautiful frequency. It was beautiful, and and he had the lighting, a very pink, violet hue kind of light, and it was just so relaxing. It just took you on
it. If you've not been to one, because I
haven't actually.
You will absolutely adore it. Maybe you might want to join me on Thursday this week.
This Thursday, but I'm working. I'm working from
in the evening.
Yeah. No, do you know what? I can't remember what I'm doing. Oh, 10 till. I think I'm working afternoon, evening.
Right.
So
there are many gong baths. I can recommend you some, but you will love it. You will absolutely, because it is about frequency. It is working with the chakras. It is working with the subtle energies. And because you're a musician, because you're a singer, you will feel all those things. It'll be amazing.
Well, I was amazed at that, and I was also amazed at. Have you heard of it's like this drum. It's pentatonic scales, and like a steel drum that has kind of like a shape of a flying saucer, a pan drum.
It's a hand pan.
That hand pan. I just love the different scales of it. The fact that it's very spacey, very surreal. But you know what? I went online, and they're not cheap. These hand drums.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I like to go to them. I don't like to.
Yeah.
I want to indulge. That's what I call it. My indulgement. I don't want to be having to learn. I just want to go and bask in it and enjoy it.
But I mean, I think it's just. I think a lot of people should do that because it's relaxing.
That's right. That's absolutely.
So, will you be introducing gong baths?
Oh no, because I can't. I don't have a gong, but you know, sort of, I'll be doing my chanting, and I'll be doing my
freestyle dancing.
Well, you know, if anybody wants to come along, and I'll also be doing my chakra work. You know, I can do that online or face to face. Yeah.
I get this feeling because I go to Doncaster a lot, and I get this feeling that you're going to get a class of a few women in like a hall. And you're going to be doing classes That's what I feel. Yeah, dancing, because it's so needed. There's a lot of people that are so closed off. They're so operating in their sacral and root, rather than they have like the heart of unconditional, but it's very much it's something that's quite new. Because even my sister said that, and I was amazed that she said, and she works for like the National Health, and she said, I'm going for Reiki. And I went, you going for Reiki? Oh my gosh, this is, and so it means that it's the sign of the times. It's the right timing.
Clearly,
So, clearly, I told you so. I told you so. Sorry, no, because it just says I told you so. So,
so what was the topic again that we're supposed to be talking about?
Something about I told you so.
Oh, right, okay. Well, my intuition that told me not to keep pushing to go to South Wales, because the properties that I was finding were all in the valleys. And I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to be near the seaside. But what actually happened was, because I couldn't find anything and I couldn't get a timing that was right, it was like my intuition was saying, not yet, not yet. So the internal conversation was saying, no, not yet, not yet. And that I told you so was almost like holding off. The places that I was looking at that I really wanted to go in South Wales landed up being flooded last year. And so if I'd have gone and sold last year and gone there, I would have been flooded and, you know, having a serious problem with the property. So sometimes your intuition, you know, it keeps you to safe that it wasn't right for me. And then what properties were left were all in the valleys. And I thought, no, that wasn't quite what I wanted. And so that's what moved me around the country, literally from South Wales to Cleethorpes near the seaside, at the seaside, and then Doncaster further up the train line. And so that's the intuition. And the fact that you know so much about Doncaster, I knew nothing apart from doing the research about how, you know, being desirable as an area. But, you know, this is when we listen to our intuition, when something doesn't work, rather than pushing and pushing, to actually listen, hold back, and then take a different turn, because that space, that stop, that pause helps us actually do what feels right. And it, for me, this is just in time for the summer. You know, we're in spring, so I'm not having a winter move. And it just feels like everything is in alignment, you know, including the eclipses. And so, you know, I do feel that there's some divine intervention here of, you know, not right now. Even though I wanted to be packing on my birthday, I'm supposed to have this celebration of my birthday. You know, I wasn't supposed to be packing and moving. But, you know, sort of, it's just really quite bizarre when we listen, when we actually check in, and when somebody else checks in. And, you know, what you've shared with me today, you're telling me what almost in an internal way I needed to hear without telling you.
And also that word, you know, that phrase, rejection is protection.
That's
absolutely, you know, when from the divine, from the universe, all that is. Whereas when something is when we get a rejection, we tend to look at it going, how come it's not working? And so you keep trying everything to try and make it work, but it doesn't work. And in the way that you said, had you gone to Swansea, and because of all the flooding, your property would have been damaged, and you would have had to pay quite a lot of damage, structural damage. Yeah, money, exactly.
And so yes, it's all in alignment. And this is when you listen internally to what feels right. And I was climbing up a mountain, it wasn't working. And every time it's like I worked really hard to climb that mountain and it didn't happen. I was getting really frustrated. And when I let go, then this other area came in, and then within days I found Doncaster. So it was kind of, you know, when I just simply let go, it came in much easier than me pushing. And that's the other thing about listening to yourself. There was something that was saying, no, it's not quite right. but I wouldn't listen. I was being belligerent. I was saying, no, I'm going to do this. But, you know, this internal dialogue was telling me, well, look somewhere else. But I was so fixed. And this is what happens when we get attached to something. And then we don't listen. We forget to listen. And because we're so attached to the outcome. And it's about deciding where you want to go, or deciding the kind of property or the kind of thing that you want, the kind of experience, and then letting it go to the universe and seeing what comes back. Because only what is true will come back in the divineness of who we are being.
Yeah, absolutely. And also I was going to add to this, Caroline, in the way that research is important. When you're moving to a place, it's good to not just move for the sake of moving, but actually know, is this right for me? Can I see myself? Will this benefit what I do in the line of work, or the surroundings, the place, the you know, that you're saying, the garden and everything. So it's almost like you said, you put out to the universe, and the universe goes, okay, eureka, let me give you this. But before they give you that, you end up, sorry, my hair's going in my face. It's unprofessional. Sorry, Dr. Jacalyn, but my hair got in my face. Okay. She's going to laugh.
It is about taking a lot of action. You know, you decide and then you take a lot of action, because what's not right will just not work out anyway. You know, so this timing is quite incredulous. The fact that it's in this eclipse amount of time.
But do you think, sorry, Caroline, that in the way that it's almost like you had to go down that path to then learn to surrender and release?
Yes.
So isn't it strange how it's never just given to us exactly at that point when we want it right now, right here? And even though we put out to the universe, it's almost, there's some lessons there, or something that needs to, before we actually acquire the treasure.
I was attached still to London at that point.
Yes. Yeah.
And only when I really let go and said, okay, I'm now ready, nothing would appear until I was ready to let go. And I've done a lot of letting go. I've done a lot of clearing out. And it's almost like I wouldn't do it because I wasn't ready. And this is powerful, because inside I was saying I was ready, and I wasn't doing the actions in the places to make it look like I was ready. So the intuition was guiding me to do the right research, but I didn't do it. And this happens in many different ways for many things. Sometimes projects don't work. You know, you start doing a project with somebody and it doesn't work. And I used to be that kind of person that would be really committed. And even though other people around me would say to me, oh, you know, you don't want to work with that person, you know, that won't work. I can't see you together. You know, there's been some bad press, you know, bad PR about working with them. And I've just said, no, I'm going to do this because it feels right. I've committed. And then when I've let go because it's not working, and almost said, okay, I decided to do this, people around me are telling me it's not right, and I've been fighting to get something done. Actually, when I let go, something bigger came in that was much more aligned. And this is what happens when you have people around you guiding you, telling you. At the time, I had my beautiful mentor who was the monk, and I also had my beautiful mentor from the Peace Federation telling me not to go ahead with a project I was very heavily involved in. And I wouldn't listen. And they couldn't understand it. But they were kind of saying, well, why won't you listen? And I says, because I've committed. And something that I learned from that was to listen to others, because they're guiding me. I don't know everything. And when other people check in and offer their advice and offer their sentiment of, this isn't the right project for you to be involved in, you know, you can walk away. It was my ego getting in the way. But they did tell me so. They did keep telling me, and it wasn't right for me to be in the project. And when I did come out, it was totally right for me to come out of the project. What's really, really fascinating is that others told me, but I didn't listen, wouldn't listen, because I thought I knew best. And that was my ego pushing through something. If I'd have just listened, because they had my best interest at heart. So now, if I'm committed to something and it's not working, or it's not vibing, or something's not kind of quite gelling, I now feel grown up enough to say, you know what? This is not quite working out, or it's not quite what I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to walk away. I'm going to let go of this because it's not quite right. And I don't have the ego around it anymore, which is good because it means that I don't keep pushing myself to do things that are not right for me to do.
Yeah. Well, I totally resonate with you in one way, but another way is, I don't know why, how I look at this. Sometimes somebody's experience with one person will not be the same as the other, and maybe there are lessons to learn from them. So whereas, yeah, I believe it's important to take heed, advice and guidance, but I also believe in having a true discernment of truth, saying, is this actually resonating with me? Am I comfortable with this really? It's almost like you become a doctor to yourself. You become a psychologist to yourself. And that's the only thing that I can think of, in the way that if that person A has really offended C, and you've come in as B, and then C tells you, oh, don't work with them, A, because, oh, blah, 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 blah. But then you find, okay, maybe A has done that to you, C, but I actually really work well with them.
I was having a difficult time. They were in alignment, when they were saying, it's okay to let go.
Yeah.
It was me sitting in my ego saying, no, I can't. I committed to this. I have to stick it out, being very ballsy about it. But it wasn't appropriate for me to be. I was almost given, it was like a permission. It's okay to say this wasn't right for you to continue.
It's okay to say no.
That's beautiful. That's exactly what it was. It's okay to say that you changed your mind. It wasn't quite what you thought it was going to be. And that's very beautiful, because I learned, the hard way. I learned that it was okay to walk away if something wasn't working. And it took a lot for me. It was almost like a pride thing, an ego thing. But, there was people around me that were mentoring me that almost said, I told you so.
That is definitely I told you so.
And I was really annoyed because they were right. But I wouldn't look. I couldn't look, and I didn't want to look. And that was the beauty of it, that I had those beautiful people around me guiding me, because it wasn't about a people thing. It was about my experience thing. It's always about when things come together or they don't come together. And it was the experience thing. They said, this isn't right for you. You don't need to do it. But I was like sort of, running up the hill saying, I'm going to do this regardless. So the I told you so was very clear from people with much more than me. And yet I wouldn't listen. So this is something that's quite a big thing, because we don't like to be told by other people.
I absolutely agree with you there. In fact, I have had the label of being absolutely stubborn, stuck in my ways, in relationships, in friendship, even when it was a case of really there's no way you can get through because blah, blah, blah. But I thought, no, I will do it because I can do it. No matter, against all odds, I will do it. And then I would end up being absolutely exhausted, mentally exhausted, but still thinking, no, tomorrow I'll try it. And to the point,
we're not meant to be fighting that way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's supposed to be a lot easier. And
I
so resonate, because I do what you do.
And I carry for 2 or 3 days, and they're saying, oh, is someone going to tell her? My family will go, is someone going to tell her actually that she's actually wasting her time? And I'm just to the point now. Okay, hands up. Okay, you were right. You were right. And they go, I told you so. I've had
it. We don't like
No.
it, do we? I certainly
No.
don't like being
No.
told. I don't like doing things twice. That really annoys me. And if I haven't done it right, but this is the learning. This is the impatience. You know, like it just to be done right the first time. I don't like to go back to things. But what's really wonderful from the perspective of the learning from that is that it's okay to get some things wrong, and other people can see what you don't see when you're in the middle of the situation, the experience. We don't see everything. And so it is good to be open to hear other people's perspectives, because they're not all the way in the middle of everything in that creation that you're in, that you're struggling with. And so when somebody else sees it, we can always solve somebody else's problems. It's more difficult to see our own. And so my invitation is to kind of be open to listen, even though I've shared with you that I was very stubborn and didn't listen. But, you know, this is what I've learned, that other people care enough to share and to help you, to support you. And it's about being open to receive that feedback, because they're sharing that feedback because they care about you, they love you, and they don't want you to actually be suffering.
That's wonderful, actually, wonderfully put and expressed. I mean, I think that it's important the way that you're saying about people actually caring for you. They've taken the time to care, observe and look and think, okay, you're heading for a car crash here because it's happened to me. So they're going, I don't want that to happen to you. That type of, in that way, I can say a deer in the headlights.
Oh, that's a beautiful expression. Absolutely, because we don't see what's right in front of us. My mum used to use an expression when I was a child. She used to say, "You can't see the wood through the trees."
My mum used to do that as well. The wood from the tree.
I never really knew what that meant, and then I only found out, you know, sort of in later life, much later life, that the wood, you know, when you go into a wood, the wood is the tree trunk, and so it's an incredible metaphor. And so when you go into a wood, all there is wood, but you don't see it because you only see the trees. You don't see.
In fact, when you said that, and when I recaptured it, all I think was, well, all I can see is trees. I don't see wood. But you're right. It's the tree is wood.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's the leaves and everything, but the trunk and the branches is wood. Isn't that incredible? So we don't call them wood trees.
No, but it's full of wood, you know.
Yeah, but it's full of wood.
The woods.
Can't see the wood from the trees. You're right. It's a powerful metaphor.
My mum used to share that with me all the time, and I said, "Oh, don't be silly. You know, of course, you're right in the middle of it, and you just don't see the wood through the trees, because I'm only seeing the trees, never what's really, really there." And I just thought it was a very beautiful way to describe that I wasn't seeing what was actually there. She could see it because my mum wasn't all the way in it. And this is powerful because when we're in relationships, whether they be working relationships or dating or friendships or intimate relationships, other people can see what we don't see because we're all the way in it and we don't see what's right in front of us. But other people have a different perspective because they can see everything. We only see what's right in front of us, and we're too clouded in the creation of what we've created. And so we don't see the faults. We don't see what's the wrongs, or we might be only seeing the wrongs. And so when somebody shares their insights or their perspective, you know, I'm always open to hear, open to listen, because they might be telling me something that on some level I'm aware of but didn't want to say. And so it's very powerful when somebody shares something. And that's why I'm always, well, I'm not always, I do my best to be open because I've learnt my lesson the hard way.
I've been there. I mean, I think it's important to also realize it's okay if it's constructive criticism, but there are people out there that mislead you and give you the wrong information.
it's important to have your own compass as well as be open to hear. You know, when I was first training a long time ago, 23 years ago, I started this kind of training. There was an extraordinary trainer that I was working with, and he said, I'm going to share some things with you, some things that I believe, and you might not believe some of the things that I'm sharing with you. I'm going to share them with you anyway, because they're from my experience and my expertise. And you can decide which things that you want to take on, that you believe, and which things you want to leave. And when you leave the room, you can leave those things behind the door, and you don't need to take them with you, the ones that you're not interested in. And the ones that you like, you can take with you. And each time you meet somebody, they will share some things with you. And there's some things that you won't like, and there's some things that you will love, and there's some things that you like. And so wherever you are, just listen, be open. And then the things that you like, you can take with you. And so I've spoken to and worked with and trained with many, many incredible trainers from all over the world. And there are things that I have left behind the door, not making them wrong, but they just weren't right for me. And I've taken many things with me, and then I've made decisions and worked with some things in a bigger way. And this is another way of I told you so, you know, because he was saying, you don't have to believe everything that I'm going to share with you from my experience or my expertise. And then it's up to you what feels right for you and what resonates with you. And I felt that that was a great insight to start my journey, my spiritual journey, because then I didn't have to believe everything. I could be open to let go of what wasn't right for me.
I find that amazing advice, because usually people have pressure when they're listening to a lecture or going to a guru, for example, and they're trying to take on everything, and they're going, but you know what, I don't really agree with that. But they say, but it's guru so and so, so I'm going to say I agree with it.
We still have our own counsel.
We still have it.
It's important to check into our own heart, because it's not a one size fits all and what's right for everyone, because we all have a different path, what our own path is. Yours is singing, and mine is, you know, sort of coming from a meditational space. They're very aligned, they're very akin, but they're actually really powerful as coming together and working together and hand in hand.
Yeah.
Great show, girls. I've really been enjoying this.
I was going to say, what were you doing?
I've been just watching you two having a great time. But we've actually come to the end of our time for today. So I'd love to spotlight each of you and for you to share how people can get in touch with you and who you would like to contact you. We'll start with Caroline.
Cool. Well, I'm Caroline HEWARD, known as the Harley Street Stress Expert, and I help you with your stress. And if you're not sure what that means, and you don't find yourself saying that you're stressed, if you're not sleeping, if you're complaining about something like aches and pains, or a relationship, or a bereavement issue, it's whatever you're complaining about to the other people around you. That's your stress. And I can help you bust your stress. I offer a free 30-minute consultation. I would be delighted for you to reach out to me. You'll reach me on nomorestress@live.co.uk, or call me on +44 if you're international, 0 if you're local, 7523 120 189. I offer you 30 minutes of my time. It'll totally change the way that you see things. It'll calm the mind. It'll relax you. It will move you back into the heart so that you become more peaceful, and it'll give you an incredible night's sleep. Whether you have physical, emotional, mental pain, I am here to help you. Obviously, we're not walking around with just one symptom. So I offer programs to help you manage all the other things in your life. And I look forward to helping you soon.
Yes, bust your stress, people.
Bust your
stress. Dr. Jen, how about you?
Well, I'm a singer. I am a singer. I've been in but a singer-songwriter. But at the same time, because I know about the voice and I know about the breathing technique, and I understand about when you're connecting with your creative heart, a higher consciousness. I understand where you're connecting to your sacred inner space, and I can help you connect and bring out your childlike essence through that, so you can express your field of creativity. At the same time, I'm a purifier because I help people to purify their lives and look at their lives in the way of helping them to transcend their shadow of fear, low vibrational energy. I help them to transcend it, and then to help them connect to their inner voice, to express it out and become the highest potential they can be.
I love it. Woo! All right. Fantastic. All right. We do have a couple of comments that I wanted to read before we go.
We got to say happy birthday.
It's Amina.
Caroline.
Carolyn's your birthday today?
Yeah, it's on Wednesday, but you're not going to be here.
Hold on. And Namitha Sharma. Thank you
Hello,
so much.
Namitha.
Thank you so much for contacting Caroline.
I feel a birthday
it's also,
coming on.
Ian's birthday on Wednesday.
Yeah, we share the same birthday.
Should we do two birthdays then?
We don't have time right now, but Caroline, you'll be back tomorrow for Talking Heads, and I know you can't make it the next week. Okay, so we'll sing tomorrow. All right, dear friends, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'm glad you girls could carry on. Bye, everyone.
Enjoyed it immensely. Bye.